The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is here.
This is WMUC FM College Park, broadcasting live from the University of Maryland. They call me DJ Boss Player. Got Empress C in the building.
Hello.
Got the homie from my ASP 202 class, Hamza, up in here. Good. Also from that same class, got Elijah up in the building right now. The revolution will not be televised, but it's live right here on your radio right now. This is Pop Culture Revolution, a.k.a. PCR. So the story goes, shout out our professor, Miss Jarman, Instructor Jarman. She assigned us a class project where we need to talk about hip-hop activism.
Love it.
And then I started thinking about ways hip-hop activism has been practiced at the University of Maryland. And I was like, yo, we kind of do that. And I was chilling with Hamza in the library, and I was like, yo, why don't y'all just come on the show?
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about what we're learning right now. Because hip-hop activism is already so vital and crucial to the movement. Like,
yes.
Hip-hop and activism at this point go hand in hand. Hip-hop started off as just party music. It was a rent party. Just trying to make some money, try to uplift some spirits, which in itself is somewhat revolutionary.
Yeah, and then it became a political statement.
Then, you know, it just they noticed its power. A lot of that starting with NWA and some other groups like Public Enemy and things like that. Mm-hmm. You know, F the Police. You know, but Public Enemy's got a whole litany of records. You know,
yeah.
So it's just it evolved into something more than just having a good time. Now it's like, if you're not even making a statement, I feel like, who are you, Young Thug? Like, what are you even saying?
Yeah. Now is the time to speak out. I think if you have a platform, you need to utilize it in a way that contributes to the discussion. So if it's hip-hop, if it's a sport, you need to utilize your platform to do what you can.
So, Hamza, what does hip-hop activism mean to you?
To me, I mean, right now in this generation, I feel like it's more than just depicting what situation you're in. A lot of rappers, they're talking about, oh, I've seen drugs, I've seen violence. But I think we are at a point where, with social media and everything, we see that. And I think you need to offer a message more deeper than that, rather than just describing, because violence sells right now. Like 21 Savage is selling a lot. So I think if you want to get categorized as hip-hop activists, you need to promote something more than just, oh, this is what I grew up with. Oh, this is what I see every day. You know?
Absolutely. So, Elijah, what does hip-hop activism mean to you?
Same thing. Also, it depends a lot on, I think we talked about what they see around in their environment. So, a lot of these activists, they're talking about stuff they experience growing up every day, like that may not be as mainstream or as seen, overall in American society. So it's kind of almost like niche in the fact that we're able to see, I guess they're displaying their lives to us, since like a lot of these middle class people in America are not able to see this sort of thing. That's kind of how I think, honestly, like Black Lives Matter, like with police brutality specifically, that's always been a thing. That's been a thing for decades in the Black community. That's always been a problem facing us. I think hip hop has helped put a spotlight on police brutality through people, through these rappers talking about it in their music.
His actions speak way louder than his words on this.
It's just the simplicity of a Neil. It's like, wow, like Hamza said, it really, something so simple is really drawing out all these negative emotions that I guess America's been harboring against Black men who have been too outspoken. Mm-hmm. So,
and the thing that I respect about him, I agree with everything you all have said, but he hasn't made this about him. Mm-hmm, this is something that he felt passionate about. He took a stand, and he's like, I'm going to let everybody talk. That's fine, but I'm going to continue to provide relief to people who need it in other countries. I'm going to charter a plane so I could take aid to people who need it, who need help. And I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to worry about what everyone else says. And you have to respect that. Even if you try not to, you have to respect someone who has that much resolve just to keep pressing forward. So.
And granted, he had that signing bonus. He has a little bit of change in the bank. But he stood to make so much more. He never got to win a Super Bowl ring. He made it to the Super Bowl one time, never got to win one. And he gave up basically his whole lifestyle, his whole career for all of us, for literally the four of us in this room, and all African Americans in this country. He gave all that up for us. Yet some people can't just not watch football on Sunday to support him. America was built on a lie. This whole thing in front of you right now, everything around you, was built on lies. The United States of America, even the word united, we're not united. We're under a, we're under a constitution. You know what I'm saying? So I guess legally we're bound together, but we can even because of this whole Trump thing, which is bringing to light all these different viewpoints and perspectives and all these racists coming out the woodworks. We're just as divided as we've ever been. You know what I mean? Liberty and justice for all.
No.
For who?
No.
All?
And when the founding fathers wrote the document that talks about these things, still there were people who were enslaved. So how can you say that? We have to. My whole
Land
point
of the
is
free.
My whole point is this. I do believe that we can move forward. I'm an optimistic person, and I believe that we can move forward, and I believe that there are good people who want that to happen. But before you can address any issue, you have to acknowledge the problem. So what's going to happen is people are going to have to really do some self-reflection.
We've got to inconvenience each other.
We're going to have to inconvenience each other. Do some self-reflection. Dig deep and say,
Unless you want it to stay the same.
Yes. How am I contributing to the problem? How can I change the problem? And it starts at the dinner table. I really do think. And okay, Thanksgiving dinner's coming up, guys.
Hey,
so
there it
let's
is.
talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about Thanksgiving, first of all.
We're not even getting into that right now. But you're going to be sitting around at the dinner table with your family, your extended family. There might be some people who are a little... Grandpa says some racist things sometimes. Uncle Benny says some crazy stuff. Instead of just letting it slide, address it. That's where these things start to change. And so it's uncomfortable. You have to think about which side of history you want to be on. Because in every period in this country's history, there's been a time where you've had to make a decision. Which side are you going to be on? Are you going to be an abolitionist? Or are you going to be the person who's like, okay, I'm okay with slavery? And this is for everybody. You have to think about what it is that you're really doing. What are you saying here?
And really, not just African Americans, white people who benefit the most from white privilege, of course.
Yes.
If you're just standing on the sidelines, you're a part of it.
Yes. If you're seeing injustice happen and you're not doing anything about it, you're part of the problem.
I think this is where Desmond Tutu's quote comes into play. If you're neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. That's everything. That is everything.
There you go. There you go. All
right, we're gonna come back. I mentioned Black Lives Matter. You did. Let's talk about Black Lives Matter. I got they tried to fight the power. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's two.
The FBI labeled them public enemies.
Oh, wow.
Three.
And yes, you know. 1, 2. Rap for the black people. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is here.